Blue Lock Chapter 305 early release is out and looks like we're moving into a training arc. We open up the chapter with Henri and Ego talking about how they've been pulling all-nighters non-stop. And Ego explains this entire time what he's been doing is carefully crafting together plans for all 23 players to improve their games. Remember the previous chapter where Isagi received the letter? Everyone else was receiving a similar letter but with a different task. And that is what the entire rest of the chapter is about, as Baro actually opens up his letter and it says, if you want to be the king again, go there. And he shows up to a place where they're playing American football and the guys who are waiting for him are unbelievably jacked. For Bachida, his letter says, learn by teaching, feel your childhood. So we see him arrive at an elementary school and he's playing soccer with a bunch of kids. And then from here, things get a little bit weird as everyone's individual task starts to stray further and further away from soccer. For Kunigami, his letter says the answer lies in battle. Become the strongest in hand-to-hand combat. For Shido, it says, before you pass away, do everything you've ever wanted to try. The costs will be covered by Blue Lock, and then we see Shido jumping out of an airplane going skydiving. For Rin, it says, take a look at your own ego, and we see him meditating in a dojo before he's struck in the back of the head by a bamboo sword. And then it continues saying, only destruction isn't an enough desire. And then we cut to Reo, who is still thinking about Nagi. He's running on a treadmill and said, if I hadn't relied on you back then, I wonder if I would have had a different future. And he says a life without Nagi is still too difficult for him. Now his letter says, Mr. Rikage Reo, you're a special soldier of Blue Lock. Copy the surviving players and become the master copy. Your path to being number one still remains. Now his assistant says in 14 days this is impossible, but Reo says I'm gonna do it. For now, moving my body is better than using my head. I'll completely conquer this assignment, and his eyes are glowing with intensity. And then from there, it's everyone just showing a compilation of all of the other players training in their own different ways. Someone's even using a sword. And it wouldn't be Blue Lock without having one panel of Chigiri coming out of a pool or in some way coming out of water. And then the very last panel is just a letter from Ego to Henri thanking her for all of her efforts. And that's the entire chapter. I don't know if we're actually going to get a full-on training arc of everyone going through their individual assignments, but luckily there is no break next week, so we won't have to wait that long to figure it out.